Hi, this is Callie from 10 Minutes or Under, and in this video I'm going to show you the functions of SUM, SUMIF and SUMIFS, so let's get started. What you need to know is that the SUM function is just a glorified calculator in Excel, and it allows you to do addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. We always start the SUM function with an equal sign, then sum, open brackets, and the values you wish to include in the calculation. Here you can see that by selecting a cell, you can add the cell's value to the function using the plus symbol. Close the brackets and press enter. Each cell reference is shown in a different colour to help you identify them. To edit this, either double-click in the cell or click in the function bar as shown here. You can drag the coloured border from one cell to another to change the cells included in the calculation. Another way to add values is to use the comma symbol instead of the plus symbol. However, this can be only used to add values together. By far the easiest way to use the sum function in a table is to select a range of cells. To do this, click the first cell, holding your mouse button down, and drag across to the last cell in the range. This will show a coloured border around all the cells. Then close the brackets and press enter. Only the first and last cells will show in the function bar, separated by a colon. As shown previously, you can click and drag the box to change the selected cells. As this is the easiest method, I am going to copy this to the other cells in the total column by moving my cursor to the bottom right hand corner of the cell, where the cursor will change. I can then drag the cell up and down to apply the same formula to other cells. A sum function can be used to total values for anywhere in your spreadsheet and display these anywhere in the spreadsheet. Here we will sum the number of items of each clothing size using the method shown previously. As before, we can drag the formula from one cell to another to copy the formula. However, as you can see, when we drag the formula down, the range of cells on the formula also shifts. To rectify this, we can simply drag the blue box to the correct location on the spreadsheet. There. You can now see that we have applied the formula to each section of the spreadsheet. Now we will have a look at the SUMIF function. We will use this function to sum the number of items that are listed as winter stock in the season column, and then again for the summer stock. To do this, we need to use the statement or question. If the item of clothing states winter in the season column, then sum the value shown in the total column. We start our statement with equals, SUMIF, brackets, and then select the range of cells that we will apply this statement or question to. In this case, this is the seasons column. Press comma and then enter the criteria, in this case winter. Make sure that if you are searching for a string of characters, for example a word, you use quotation marks around the word. Press comma and then select the range of cells that will need to be summed if the statement or question is met with a positive result. Press enter. There you can see that the three items that are listed as winter stock have been summed together. We will now do the same for summer stock. You can see that despite there being several items listed as summer stock, our SUMIF has returned a value of 0. This is because we have spelled summer incorrectly. This is to demonstrate that it is essential that your criteria is exact. As before, we can drag the function from one cell to another, but as shown earlier in this video, if you drag a function down, the ranges that it references will shift downwards by the same number of cells. To prevent this happening, we can make the references in the cell absolute. This is to mean that despite where the function is copied to, the references remain the same. To do this, we simply click into the function bar and onto one of the cell references and then hit F4. This will add two $signs to the cell reference, one before the column letter and then one before the row number. This means that both the column and the row will remain as they are stated here. You can see that this means that despite dragging and copying the function to another cell, the references remain the same. The only thing left to do is to change the criteria from winter to summer. Let us now look at SUMIFS. This powerful function allows us to use multiple statements or questions in one go. For example, we will be looking for the number of items listed as suitable for males and in the winter season stock. To do this, we will need to use the sex, season and total columns in our table. As always, we start with equals, SUMIFS and open brackets. We then select the range of values to sum. If the statement produces a positive result, we will use these values. We then proceed to select the range of cells that we will be checking for the statement and to type the statement itself. Here you can see that we have selected the sex column and then in quotation marks enter the statement, for example, male. We then do the same for the season and select winter as our statement. We press enter to complete the function and you can see we have produced an error. This is because we have merged two columns to create the total column, which means that the range of cells used in the total column goes from J8 to K12. Excel cannot cope with this, so we simply unmerge the cells and ensure that the references point to one column and not two, for example J8 to J12. We choose to reference column J as opposed to column K, as when we merge a group of cells, Excel will consider the value in those cells to be actually in the cell which is in the most top left-hand corner of the range of cells. We will use the same approach to do a SUMIFS function to sum the number of items which are suitable for females and from the winter collection. As we would only like to sum the number of small items, we can use the values in the small column instead of the totals column. Thanks for watching this video.